What's up?
Hello.
Pretend like we're meeting for the first time. Hello, guys. Hi, my name is Bhaarat. Hi, Zoe. Hi, Urgen. Big fan.
Hello.
So, acha, okay. So, what we're going to do is we have like a sort of a semi-dramatic sort of intro. It's like a mishmash of like all type of intros. Okay, so I'm just going to do it. And then start. Okay. Namaste, Devi Sadhno, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Sounds Home podcast with us today. Like always, is my highly skilled trained professional co-host, Mr. Parth. We've got two very special guests today. We've got Urgen, Yolmo, and Zoe Siddharth. Let's hear for them, guys. Come on, let's clap for ourselves. Yay! Okay. So, Urgen and Zoe happen to have very smoothly functioning individual careers. Apart from that, they happen to have a duo called Urgen and Zoe. And they do a bunch of stuff. I'm sorry, is it the other way around? Is Zoe and Urgen?
Yeah.
Sorry. Fucked it up in the first category, sorry. So, my mom will be so proud. But no. So, okay. So Zoe and Urgen happen to have a duo named Zoe and Urgen, and they're doing a bunch of stuff. They're doing vlogs. They basically run a YouTube channel where they're putting out all sorts of content, a lot of diverse stuff. They've done collaborative quarantine covers, which we're going to touch down upon as well. They've done challenges. They put out a very wonderful song, which is called With Me, which is released a few days back. And they did a very good music video of it as well. And we're really excited. How's it going, guys? Kya chal raha hai?
Good.
It's going good, honestly. Just glad to be working again and
Finally.
putting out content together in person.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's been sort of a roller coaster ride where we were thinking that normalcy is sort of restoring back, but all of a sudden. So Parth and I also happen to be in sort of like the gig scene of Pune, so we can really like empathize with you guys. So, but so you tell me, what I really found interesting about the dynamic between the both of you is that you guys met on the stage, right? I think that's where you guys met for the first time, and you guys are competing against each other, right? And then you guys sort of became friends, and now you guys have this duo. That's like three different places in terms of like interpersonal dynamics. How do you guys sort of manage this and sustain this friendship in such a cutthroat industry where everybody just wants to eat up each other's sort of thing? What is it? अपनी दोस्ती का राज बताइए, please.
To be honest, we are not really competing against each other on the stage. I mean, of course, for national television, the way they directed, the way they edited it, so it seems as if you're competing against each other. But then, to be honest, most of us were there by, say, chance, for lack of better words. Like, because I happened to go there because, like, I happened to go for the auditions because it was on a Saturday. Someone happened to come there because a friend said, come there. So we kind of like.
I really tried to get on the show. I got rejected. I came into the second chance thing from like online way.
Acha.
But
the competition element.
There was no competition at all. Everyone's like rooting for each other. Everyone's just like helping out each other, telling each other what they can do better to sound better for a specific song. Because we were given songs and we didn't choose our songs, so we used to take advice from each other, and it was like a very friendly way of dealing with things. It was not a competition as such for us. So that's why.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's why we didn't realize. We just ended up going to the finale, and we didn't even know that this was gonna happen. So it was just
after a point, I just wanted to stay there because of the friends and like having fun rather than like winning.
Yeah.
I was just like, let's just chill another week.
Right. No, it's really refreshing because Hindi reality shows can paint you the picture that people out there competing each other want to like murder each other. Like it's like that's all the dramatic effects and all that stuff, all the backstories. But
actually, they didn't show it like that much.
Yeah,
like they showed the friendship as well. Yeah.
So that's really refreshing to see, like you guys, because I know that the insecurity sort of creep in at some point for everybody at some stage in some way or the other. I'm sure it's not like comparable with everybody, but that's great that you guys have sort of maintained this friendship. So what is this one thing that attracts you? I'm sure you guys are from different parts of the country, right? And what is it that resonated with the both of you and that has sort of sustained and held its ground all this way, like all this time for the both of you? It's been over, 3-4 years, right? I think stage the season you guys did. So what has it been like?
I think when we started getting to know each other, I think it was the fundamentals of how we thought, like how we wanted to bring in change. We wanted to bring in a lot of positive energy into the world and try and make the world as positive as possible and help people out around us and stuff like that. And we started realizing that our way of thinking, although like there are a lot of things, likes and dislikes are so different, but our way of thinking, it's not like the fundamentals of both of us, it's literally the exact same. To such an extent that I started telling her, I'm older than her. I started telling her that I actually printed her on, when I was a kid, I printed her on a computer, maybe, because we started realizing that we think exactly the same. Because, and then there are weird things, because we have like weird.
We have the same like birthmark.
We have the same birthmark, same.
Oh, wow.
I think Zoe programmed you again and she sent you like from the picture. So, Terminator happening all over again.
You never know, man. So yeah, that's what happened. And
right, wow.
That's what
cool.
that
birthmark thing just made it the most Bollywood movie ever. Like, अरे तुम्हारे हाथ में भी ये काला टीका, and like so, but that's it.
Our stories match as well, by the way. Her dad was in Singapore till 5th standard. My dad was in Singapore till 5th standard.
Weird things.
Everything matches. It's just weird, man. Like I can't even explain.
Yeah, this is too good to be true. I want to tell you.
The only thing that's missing here is the Kumbh Mela, जहाँ पे लोग बिछड़ जाते हैं, मतलब not in the current context, but.
Tell me about this. You guys, I'm sure you guys started gigging before you sort of, got into the whole thing. I'm sure you guys entered the stage as different people, and as the weeks went by, like you guys said, you guys were too engrossed into that whole thing. I'm sure that fame also came in its own proportions, right? Like the followers might have increased as weeks went by. The sort of like people recognizing you and people rooting for you and people sending you all sort of like resumes and all of those things. How did you sort of? I'm sure that, I mean, by the looks of it, you guys seem very grounded by, comparatively somebody who has good sizable amount of like social media presence, and like you guys have done some good stuff in terms of like being on national television itself is such a big thing. How do you guys sort of sustained the humility and the groundedness with all the eyeballs that you guys were getting on a constant basis, and held your ground? Were you guys like emotional anchors to each other in some way or the other? And it's about how you guys sort of sustain the thing in the larger scheme of things. What is it like for you guys?
I think for us, actually, this whole like presence thing, taking it was very different. Because I, for the longest time, have been very focused. Like since I was a kid, that this is the direction I want to go in. This is what I want to do. One of the things on my list was to sing in a competition, and so it was just like okay, moving towards my goal kind of thing.
You were just ticking the boxes as you were going by.
Yeah. And I have watched these shows for years, so I am very aware that these shows, that fame just lasts for the moment. And you have to keep working. You have a long way to go. Like it's just like a temporary thing. So even when all of it finally came, it was a lot of excitement because I was like, whoa, people are actually watching my lives.
Right. Absolutely.
But of course, like it's not the level yet that I want to be. Like I have so much more to go in terms of my goals. So there is no way of me being like, oh, I am a big shot. Oh, I'm this or that, because I'm not. It's a temporary thing, which right now also the hype is gone. So that temporary thing lasted, but now we still have to keep hustling, right? To kind of reach a level. So yeah, I don't know if it'll ever get to me in that sense, because I have a very fixed goal on where I need to go.
Right.
But
me, on the other hand, well, I still suffer. I'm much better now, but I've suffered a lot from self-hatred. Confidence, doubts. I've hated myself a lot, and thanks to friends, I've sort of started figuring myself out better. So throughout my childhood, I've actually been closed and locked myself up. Used to sketch, used to do a lot of artistic stuff like sing, sketch, write, draw, like sculpt, do things that's constantly outside the box, but all for myself. And to show it to someone else was the biggest thing. I would not be able to sing in front of anyone else, or show my writing or sketches to anyone else. And when the stage happened, I sort of like, when people started, I was not even on social media because it used to scare me so much. And I had major anxiety issues. And when stage happened, when people started getting to know me, and people, there was someone who fainted when I hugged them. And that is not me. Like I can't relate to that stuff, and that scares me. Like meeting people scares me.
The first time I somebody, the person's fainting. But yeah,
so it's not about how I'm keeping myself grounded. It's more about how am I not fainting when I'm seeing so many people, or people are liking what I do, and they have actually taught me a lot. All the people who text me, the people who started telling me that you're an inspiration or that your music saved me. Some people have told me that they were going through a surgery or something, and I've actually screenshot all these messages that people send me. They had the surgery, and apparently my voice saved them. And that is when these are small things that actually fans helped me come out of my self-hatred. And now that's what, after so many years, I've finally been able to, because I was still scared of social media. I'm like, I come there for like 1 month and then I disappear again because I'm too scared of people. Right. And finally now I'm ready to be out there and put myself out there. Now my music, the stuff that I'm writing, the stuff that I'm creating is all going to be for those people who actually deal with self-hatred.
Oh, great. I have something to, kind of a follow-up question. So Zoe, you talked about that that the fact that people were, looking into your life or watching your life rather, and even, again, you said that you were closed behind all the walls, and then you came out because people started looking up to you. And so, and again, I don't know if that's right or wrong, but you both do vlogging individually. You did vlogging, and then when you came together, you are now vlogging as well. Does that help in any ways? I don't really know what that does to you as a creator, but I really like to watch people vlog their life. I know it's not like everything out there, but it's interesting to watch people go about their life and all the activities that they do. But how does that help out when you are doing?
I started vlogging because actually I wanted to get out of this fear, like because my whole, I think there's a video I titled about me, which I'm going to delete pretty soon. On that video, I actually talk about why I'm vlogging. The reason I started vlogging and I started doing YouTube was so that I could get rid of my fear to talk to people. And talking to a camera kind of was like multiplying the amount of force that people are, the eyes looking at you.
Right.
I don't know how to explain that, but being in front of the camera was the scariest thing ever.
Yeah, because I feel like the people who sort of had like social anxiety issues growing up, and then they sort of go on stage for that gratification or just channelizing the emotions, it's like 0 to 100, right? You're just like not talking to, barely you're talking to 4 to 5 people at once, and then you're all of a sudden catering to like 50, 100 people or more, which is more of a sizable amount. So, first of all, kudos to you for being so modest about like your whole thing. And because art is a reflection of who you inherently are. It takes a lot of courage to sort of put yourself out there and be honest about yourself. So more power to you, man. What I want to really know, because I find this dynamic really interesting. It's sort of refreshing. I'm not even kidding, because I feel that collaborations should also sort of be very they can have some sort of selfish connotation to them or some subtext to it. Like, let's just help each other out until we can sort of reach a level and part our ways, which doesn't seem to be the case for you guys, because you guys have achieved success in your own sort of right in terms of whatever you guys have done. Apart from that, you guys are at the same time maintaining the friendship, also taking it forward notches higher by doing a collaboration. You guys spoke about doing gigs together. When you guys were doing gigs together, how do you guys sort of like divide roles and responsibilities? I'm sure like you guys know each other's strengths well, knowing each other for such a long time. How do you guys sort of like anchor each other? Like, suppose Zoe is having an off day, you're like, okay, today I'm going to take over the vocals, or I'm going to probably do this. How do you guys sort of like have these roles and responsibilities defined, and how interchangeable are they within the dynamic that you guys have on stage?
Actually, it's so our dynamic, at least like gig wise and work wise, are a little bit different. It's very unique in a sense. Like, we all have our strengths and we have our faults as well, but weirdly enough, my faults is his strength and his faults is my strength. So no, but like for instance, he has the creative mind. I as well have a creative mind. I can do my stuff, but I never, because everything I did was very trial and error. It was very like for just in the moment, do. But he has the technical aspect of things. He has a much broader sense. He can create a lot easier than I can. And so in a sense that creative element comes way easier to him, and like the concepts and ideas and even arranging music, you know, it's I would say his strength, and my strength would be putting the stuff out, like he said, right? Like he has it all within himself, but I guess I can take the product and bring it out to the mass.
So as for gigging, we don't.
Yeah, there is no rules.
There's no rules. We just we practice. We practice, and then we go out there, and then sometimes we wing it. Sometimes we do as was practiced. But
we have fun.
when we're creating content, it's more like
there's a fixed like thing.
There's a fixed thing. Like we didn't realize that it was happening. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that we didn't have issues with regard, because when we didn't figure out that what was happening, where each of us, either of us stood, we were having issues in a way. But then it was not like, oh, I hate you kind of thing. But it was more like
it was more like there was like no understanding of.
We didn't understand who was what. But then finally we started understanding that. The thing is, something comes to me, I will just think, images start coming in my head already, and then the music starts coming to my ears already, and then I have to do it. I kind of started, to be honest, I started kind of hogging the whole creative department unknowingly, because it just immediately comes, and then I never said, hey Zoe, why don't you think about it, since it immediately started coming in. And then since that started happening, we started figuring out that Zoe is more into actually the organizational man. Although Zoe is very creative herself, because she did one of the videos which was done really well.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right. You were talking about editing.
All the videos. she does all the videos.
I'm a part of all of them.
Yeah, she's a part of all the videos. But she did one of the concepts.
But like conceptualizing.
One of the songs, and it was really beautiful. But it's just that the way she thinks, she will take some more time. Whereas me, on the other hand, I will take less time. But when it comes to selling the product, or probably like bringing it out, or how with me happen, I would never show anything that I do to anyone else. But Zoe is the one who actually pushes that out, and that's why ZNU is where ZNU is. Otherwise, I don't think I would have never been able to bring out the stuff that I create. I recorded a song like 3 years back. I've still not released them. She didn't. She's already released one song.
I recorded my first single after he recorded his.
And you put it out also.
After mine is out, his is still with him.
She's working on a second one.
This is like procrastinating after doing the whole job. I mean, this is really.
But now he'll do it. He better do it.
I just get too scared. I get too scared to pick up stuff. But then now I'm working on it. I've worked on it. On myself, and
as long as you guys have each other, it's okay. You guys will change, don't worry. But no, I completely agree with Urgen, what you're saying is, because I feel that man, there's like a lot of self-doubt, like anyways people deal with. I mean, there are people who sort of like too objective. Oh, what I've made is a masterpiece, a banger, and all those things, and all those sort of adjectives to whatever they do. They predetermine the outcome of it. Whereas I think when you're being honest with your work, sometimes it's like sometimes it's just too personal, it's too important a piece of me that I'm sort of putting out, and how do I sort of look at it analytically. So I think that could sort of even reflect the fact that your whole process is really pure in terms of like there's a lot of like genuinity in terms of like how you want to put it. So that's great. Speaking about like you guys, before venturing into like the first song of yours, which is like With Me, which came out a few days back, how did you guys are doing covers, right? Tell me about that. I find covers to be a really interesting sort of thing, because it sort of even helps. I mean, in your case, it sort of helps you guys explore what kind of songs and what kind of genres go well with both of your dynamics sort of put together in it, right? I'm sure that it might be like, like what I've seen nowadays is that every sort of duo with like a girl and a guy, they're just singing shallow. I mean, because they just want to sort of get into that sort of thing. But tell me about that. How do you guys sort of, how has covers sort of helped you guys understand the soundscape that you actually want to bring into your own music as a duo? How has that sort of been for you guys?
The sound.
I mean,
the soundscape, like the kind of sound that you guys want to sort of dabble into going forward.
Covers for us was actually never a work thing. Like we didn't really think too much of our channel having a lot of covers. Like it was basically supposed to be like challenges, fun things, lifestyle vlogs, stuff to get to know our person. But we did sing a lot together. Like we always used to jam outside of like filming, and where we would sing and harmonize and have a lot of fun. But once the lockdown happened, and then we were kind of forced into making covers, because content is not really possible when you're not in the same city. So that's when it's like he would find a nice song, I would find a nice song. We would like make a proper like conceptualized video for it, etc. And then that's when more covers started coming out. So then we started realizing we actually have a little bit of a pattern in well, kind of. It's like pop. It's like singer-songwriter. We make everything like duo. We split it quite properly, but I don't think it affected the songwriting because the song that came out is a whole different genre on its own.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, it has affected the soundscape a lot. I feel because say for example, when Paufu was done, there was a song. It was completely rap, but then since it was a beautiful song, we thought, why not make it singy songy, right? So started working on it, and then that's what's inspired a lot of the stuff that's happened with regards with me. In the same way, like our I think the way our vocals, one person's kind of focused onto the left channel and then the other to the right channel. That's also sort of come because of how the mixing and mastering of the songs that we did during the quarantine covers happened. So the ideating of all of that shit, all that stuff started happening because of that.
Right.
I'm sorry.
And no, it's okay. Our podcast, it's allowed. Like two, three sort of abuses in the flow we wrote. It's possible. Don't worry. So I mean, we're really feeling it. We don't want to censor it. So, but yeah, that's great. That's great. So tell me, covering and putting out your covers. What is the most difficult? I mean, difficult I feel is also subjective. What's the most challenging song for you guys to sort of get yourselves into covering songs before you sort of went with your first origin? Out of all the songs you guys have covered, could be gigs, could be anything.
The most challenging to cover.
Yeah.
Our original.
But that's cover. That's not a cover.
I don't.
Brave was the most challenging one.
Okay.
In terms of making the cover, yes. But in terms of singing,
no. It's even singing. So the Brave, what happened was a lot of people gave in. I mean, come on, 21 voices. Someone's bound to go off, someone's bound to go flat. And
did you like auto-tune those people or something?
No, it's because this is the thing. ZNU, we are against auto-tune. Okay, we have to,
absolutely, we
have to bring out as much natural sounding sound as possible. So if there are like few off notes here and there, we actually like it because it's more organic. But with regards to Brave, there were a lot of off notes in that, and then asking people to resend it, and till the end, it was a lot of off notes were still there.
Okay.
What I started doing is taking those and then converting, like taking bits and pieces of someone's notes and then putting them together to make it sound like it's seamlessly sung.
Wow.
And so technically, I didn't cheat. There is no auto tuning as such. And then there were parts that some other singers were supposed to sing. So filling in those parts because some of the parts are extremely high. Basically, they were meant for a girl to be singing.
Okay.
And because after having like done so much layering and everything, and because I've been singing so much, my throat was completely gone. And when I actually had to record that high part, it just would not happen. And then I remember that one whole day I tried singing that one portion. It just didn't work out. And then finally, it worked out after like 3 days of resting my voice and stuff. Finally, after 3 days of not singing at all, I was able to hit that one note. So that was I think most challenging thing because of how time the amount of time crunch there was, and also the amount of people, the magnitude of people that was there, and the fact that we had to take in roles for people who could not sing their parts properly.
Wow, that's a lot of dedication. OP in the chat, guys. Come on, that's great. That's great. Wow, that's really cool. So talking about sort of you guys. I mean, Brave is an example of you guys not only limiting the collab to the both of you. What has been the most interesting sort of collab apart from the both of you, where you guys had someone over and you felt that this is sort of like an interesting energy that matches with our vibe and sort of enhanced it? It could be anything in terms of vlogs, in terms of like the stuff that the other segments that you guys have done. What has it been like for you guys?
I think we love all of our collabs.
See, exactly, this is what I mean.
Because for us, collabs are more like for fun, and it's a lot of our friends as well. Recently, we've started collabing with people that we've recently met. But honestly, it's all been fun. We can't really choose one. Because whenever we're in the moment with that person or making a collab, it's either we're on a trip and we're having fun, or we're playing a game with someone, or we've decided to create this song and cover and choreograph it. And I think all of them are, you can't choose one.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Bro, like,
Diplomacy max, guys. Diplomacy max. We're not going to hurt anyone's feelings. But no. That's great. I can understand, because every collab might have its sort of own thing to it. And if you guys are collaborating with friends, you guys can't even look at it objectively, because you guys don't judge. Yeah, I mean, when you're hanging out with friends, you don't take a book and you say, oh, today was 5 or 6. So, I can understand that. Also, okay, speaking of, like collabing with people, it's the both of you. I'm sure that, sometimes with two people only, objectivity can sometimes, it can just go haywire. Do you guys have like bouncing boards where you guys sort of have people, friends of yours, who you sort of like run by your stuff, sort of preview your stuff before you sort of put it out there for the people to see? What is it like for you guys?
Our main content, like all the regular videos that go on every Friday, stuff like that, it's all in-house. Like no one sees it beforehand.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just do everything by ourselves mostly. For example, the bigger stuff, like maybe our originals or something, then we'll show it to like a family member, sibling, maybe like close friends, just to see, like, because of the excitement of like, what do you think of the video? But most of our stuff is actually just in-house. And once it's out, we just pester everyone to go watch it.
Right. So you guys want it to have sort of like a shock value to everybody who sort of knows it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Also, we feel, at least I feel like it'll bug friends if you're like, hey, check this video out, and then tell us,
बहुत सही. Yeah, that's interesting actually, because I think, yeah. So tell me, like, talking about, like, you guys are doing a lot of stuff, and we even spoke about it earlier, where, it's more about, like, it's about the people you guys are rather than the artists, which I find really interesting, which is also sort of the point of the podcast, where we want to sort of decipher the person behind the sort of artist that everybody gets to see. What I want to know is, you guys are doing personality-based content, where you guys are doing a bunch of stuff, right? Like vlogs and the segments and the songs and the covers and all of that, and the collab. What is something that sort of excites you? You guys have spoken about the fact that you guys have been into YouTube. Like all of us, this generation, especially, TV sort of been replaced by all these online portals, the OTTs and the YouTube, whatnot. What do you guys sort of? What is something that attracts you guys, and you guys are sort of working your way towards, or you would probably want to take an off chance with in the future? A format that sort of excites you. Is it something that you guys have seen of lately?
Anything that excites you?
For me, honestly, ever since I was a kid, this entire industry has excited me. Like whichever area, like for instance, I would watch all of these YouTubers make it so big and then do music to YouTube, and all of that was exciting. So that's why I was a shy kid. So I always had dreams to be this musician, but I could never actually put myself out there in the sense of going out into the scene and meeting people and getting gigs. So I felt like my only option was to go online, because I didn't want to talk to people directly. So that's when I started like really understanding the YouTube world, and how like YouTubers have now become famous singers. And that aspect excited me. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a way for me.
Salman Khan, I mean, I'm sorry. Salman Khan also put out a bunch of stuff. No, absolutely. Because that's the sort of trend, like you see Lily Singh making it so big abroad. You see all these people who have like their own shows now. They've been a part of like limited series and movies and all those things. It's really interesting, because I think that sort of like the doors have opened, like the horizon has expanded. I mean, the middlemen are not only pertaining to the industry now. You sort of have to make your own mark. It's democratized. The market is very democratized, and I think with the emergence of like streaming platforms, like your audio streaming platforms like Spotify and all these things, you really don't have to be at the mercy of labels. The fact that you guys can sort of start your own thing and put it out there, use your leverage the social media following that you guys have amassed with all the hard work that you guys have put in, and all over these years. It's really interesting that you guys are taking your own route. Is there some sort of music, like we spoke about YouTubers that you sort of like have seen and grown? So answering that. So is that the sort of route you guys are planning to take? Is that the blueprint you guys are sort of trying to adhere to, where you guys are seeing that first we'll establish ourselves and then put our music out, which is like sort of the thing, the means to sort of justify that? Or how do you guys see it?
I believe that you have to do everything, to be honest. You can't choose one way. So like I believe that you need to, for one of the most important ways for us is the YouTube way. That's why we're putting so much energy into it. But it doesn't mean that it's the only way. Like we are also trying our own individual stuff, releasing stuff on the side, trying to get gigs on the side. You know, you have to try different avenues and then one will hit.
Yeah, I feel like it's doing everything at the same time.
Yeah.
And while YouTube is also our YouTube is happening together, now it's actually organically growing, and we can see the difference from what it was last year and now. Since the YouTube SEO probably has picked up the fact that this is being so consistent, we have sort of started growing slowly. Yeah, and but it's happening. Growth is non-stop basically. Every day there is one follower or two coming in, so which means that the YouTube SEO has picked up that we have been. So we will, no matter what, we will constantly be consistent because that's what we love doing, creating content. At the same time, we will also be writing our own stuff and then putting them out as individual artists, as solo artists as well.
Right.
And that's basically we want to be artists while becoming YouTubers, while
being. We want YouTubers. To be everything at once.
Yes, I love that. I genuinely, all the people watching, I feel like you guys are setting up such a good precedent. Like, that's a very healthy approach because people have all these sort of excuses. No, I'm a gigging artist and I'm a this and I only do originals and I only do that and all. No disrespect to the people who do it. I'm sure that people have strong reasons to do that. But the fact that you guys are doing all of it and trying to do it properly and trying to do it authentically, because I think YouTube is also sort of a long-term game. And if you guys are looking for like a compounding growth and you guys are looking at consistency, I think that's the most perfect approach for anybody to sort of go about, because otherwise you just get impatient in 3 months. Like, why is my video not hitting millions? Because you're just uploading once a month. How are you supposed to? I completely sort of understand that. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, because a year.
Just to get this small.
There was a point, there was no growth at all. We're still uploading. Yeah. No matter what. Now we can see the rest.
It feels like a personal attack to us, but no, I'm just kidding about it. I just feel the YouTube pain. We should you have these self-help groups, right? Like people circle in a chair and sort of cry about their problems. Do that for YouTube channels,
But it is the long game.
It is the long game.
Absolutely. That's the fun part about it. It sort of keeps you on your toes all the time, and you to be constantly optimistic at the same time. Just put yourself out there without, detaching yourself from results. I think once you sort of detach yourself from results, it's such a enjoyable process because you're not comparing yourself with anybody. You're not looking for the numbers, because at a certain point of time, any number is not good. Like a Bhuvan Farm, if you get 10 million views, he'll be like, my videos have got 30 million views. 10 million is nothing for me, but 10 million for us would be so much.
Yeah.
They're also sort of, you can't really, there's nothing to sort of put to it, which is what I find really interesting. Also, has sort of being active on social media helped you guys get gigs? Because I'm reading this book from this entrepreneur named Gary Vee. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's really popular on social media. You guys should definitely check him out. He's written this book called Crushing It, which is about in 2009, he basically predicted how social media will have influencers, and the social media influencing sort of paralleled the mainstream advertising revenue, that is the budgets that are cut out, right? So he was talking about the fact that how building personal brands, which is what I see you guys doing so efficiently, is that you guys are creating a social media presence for yourself, so your discoverability, because your Instagram profile, your LinkedIn, and your all the stuff that you guys are putting out in terms of like the catalog on Spotify and everything is like your resume. It's the new age resume, right? For freelancers, it's about the work you do. It's a very tangible sort of practical thing. This is what you're sort of going to be hired on the basis of. It doesn't matter which college you've gone to Berkeley or you've done that. Eventually, we'll speak about the song that you're making out. How much has social media helped you guys? I'm sure that you guys have been on TV, which is like, of course, helped you guys a lot. How much has social media sort of helped you leverage the sort of discoverability to people, penetrating through people that would probably take normally longer for somebody to sort of get to, and get gigs and do all these amazing things? How is it been? Like, has social media really helped you guys? I'm sure it has. So if you guys want to sort of go on to that.
It definitely, like, the more the engagement there is on social media, and more people you have following, people approach you themselves, and because they expect people to come, people who are our fans, or people who want to watch us perform live, they would want them to come. So they'd ask us to promote the gig on our social media websites, or social media accounts, and that's how people expect. So that's the reason why the more we have spoken about, the more our social media is booming, the more gig inquiries flowing.
It's just the how things in general work. The more higher viewership you have, either the ads want you or the gigs want you to bring the people in. It's just a numbers game. So at the end of the day, like there are some people who are off social media, which is completely like their own way of doing music as well, like being in the scene entirely. But nowadays, a lot of things have gone online. People are watching your fan base or your community that you have on your own, and then accordingly will see, how are they engaging with people? Do people like them? Are they? Should we invest in them? It's become like that. That people have companies or brands or even labels that like started not just talent. Talent as well is there. You don't need the numbers entirely, but a whole side of it is also looking at who you can get on your own as well. If people like this person, then maybe we should invest in this person.
For sure.
Is it about being relevant as well? I mean, for example, I mean, now it is like we don't have live gigs happening. So now it's like really important to be on social media and be out there, be decently active at least.
Yeah.
But let's say, let's go back to the time when we didn't have this happening, pandemic happening. And was it also still also like being relevant on social media important?
Yeah, it kind of was. I mean, that time it was, at least I was just, it was more like the more gigs I was getting, the more gigs I was getting. The more people were noticing me promote my gigs on my social media, the more people were noticing that I was promoting my gigs. More people were giving me gigs. So there was gig after gig after gig after gig because there was gig already present. So that's how it was going.
In a sense, if people can see, oh wow, this is a performing musician, he has a lot of gigs, maybe you should come and join us. Whereas, like, if maybe you're not on social media, how do they find you? It's another question. Unless you go to people and say, like, hey, this is who I am. Or, I don't know. It just seemed like a more accessible method for at least like me, who didn't exactly know how to get gigs. Who do I go to? Which venue? Which manager? So sometimes it's easier to just put your stuff out there, and then who knows? Maybe they will come to you.
Yeah, because I mean, to be honest, both of us are shy people, but we're not going to be able to go up to someone and say, please, can you please give us gigs? I am important. Might as well get people to come.
You guys are being too modest. But no. I completely agree with that. Because unless you are Ranbir Kapoor, you not being on social media is a problem. So, I mean, but no, I feel like, you guys are talking about even the fact that, it requires, of course, talent is important. But I think maintaining yourself and sustaining yourself on social media also requires a different kind of talent where with the surge of reels and all these things, it can be a little jarring where you are like, should I be posting like 10 reels a day just to like ensure that? But the fact that you guys have held your ground and are looking at it in the long term, because the Instagram algorithm, Reels wasn't TikTok was there, but Reels wasn't there for like before 8 months. And what were people doing? People were doing the usual IGTV and all of that. So it's interesting that you guys are sort of taking the long term approach, because I think the long term game only defines how going to go about things. Is there somebody of lately that you guys have seen on social media and you sort of found really interesting in terms of the approach, and you feel that you can sort of learn from? Where not really competing with them or trying to emulate them, but you felt that the spirit of what they're doing is very sort of interesting.
I was never into Instagramming as much before, but now lately I have been, and I've found a lot of Instagrammers. I can't even name them because there's like a list, and I see what they're doing. I can see what consistency means to them, what kind of content goes out. I'm being able to it's become tangible to me as to how content creation works. Like I remember following someone when they had just 50K followers when lockdown started, and now they're almost reaching 1 million. They have 900K followers. Yeah, that was essential.
Is that friend of yours, Yasraj Mukhate? I just want to sort of, but that guy just blew up in the whole pandemic. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. During the pandemic,
so many people blew up. I feel like I missed my chance.
I also missed my chance. I feel like we did horribly.
We should have gone on Reels.
I know we did not want to go into Reels, and then we ended up blowing it up. But we should, like, how people grew during the pandemic and how people planned their Reels out while uploading their IGTVs and their normal posts was amazing. And I started learning that, and now I finally learned it, and now I'm executing it. I think the algorithm is about to change again. It's just constantly.
It's honestly constantly just trying to find out if you're following the trend or a bit late or oh shit.
Yeah. Or is it deceiving you? Yeah, absolutely. But it'll be really cute to see Urgen dancing on Up by Cardi B. I mean,
Can I just say, I have been trying to get to do all of these funny dances because it'll be so funny. Like it'll be funny content, you know, but
She already made
it.
dance just for one of the reels. And I'm like, oh god, man.
imagine if that video blows up.
I look damn funny, man. I look fucking crazy funny.
Do it for a video.
Yeah, Zoe, you have to pursue it now. You have to.
I'm willing, man.
Really?
Go for it. Go for it. Virtual fist bump. Go for it.
No.
He
No
said it.
fist
Yes, that's. We're going to hold you accountable with this
No,
podcast.
Are you guys ready to do it?
You tag you every day from our page. Have you made the Cardi B up challenge yet?
Never happening. No. I draw. That's where I draw the line.
She was like, oh, 45 minutes are up. Okay, guys, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun doing the podcast. But no, I mean, speaking of, that you guys released a song with me recently.
Right.
What was the experience like? Tell us about that.
With me, we actually one day, I was just about to leave because we used to meet very once in a while when we were performing all the time. I was performing separately, she was performing separately. And I had come here because we thought of doing things together. We were doing something else together. We had another group together, which didn't work out now, which led to us starting ZNU. And that's when I just took out the guitar and randomly started playing a bunch of chords while singing the line "Stay with me," and then she started harmonizing to it. And I'd recorded only that portion, and I'd left, and
I forgot about it.
And I forgotten about it too. So happens in a month or two later, I think I just took out my recorder and I was listening to this and I really found it interesting and I started working on it and I said, well, I got this really good idea for this song. It's going to be about one person a soldier saying that I want to leave, and the soldier's wife or girlfriend saying, why are you leaving? But she knows that he has to leave and he knows he wants to stay, but he has to leave. And the amount of juxtaposition they have in their own minds about wanting to stay, needing to leave and all that, and the crazy ass conversation that they're having throughout this process is what the concept was. And that's the reason why this song came into being and it does not have a genre. I mean, if you listen to it, you'll understand that this song, a lot of our friends also actually kind of called us up and said, what genre is this? It does not have a genre because of how much of a hodgepodge, how much of a conversation it is. So that's how the song was born.
Even when like writing the genre, like while releasing, you have to do it. I'm like, it is folky pop with like tones of urgency and uncertainty and confusion. There was no way of describing it.
That sounded like a Rajiv Masand sort of review of a movie. That was a tad bit sort of, but by the second half, it got really interesting. I will go with you. But did you guys try Shazamming the song? And I'm like, guys, even I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't know. Figure it out yourself.
So that's what I was saying. So once the song was done, she does everything else after that. Like the song is done, we recorded everything. I don't know how to put it out. She does all the researching on how it needs to be put out, what is the genre. I've given you the product, you do whatever you want. That's a talent I wish I had, man.
Yeah, man. But like, I was reading like an article, you guys, I don't know which site, I'm sorry, the site, I don't remember. But it was written about that you guys sort of like, you cited Christina Aguilera and Amy Winehouse. You cited Ray Charles and Justin Timberlake. Mm-hmm. So was it like a deliberate thing, or you guys heard it like, oh, it sounds like them, so let's just say that too?
Oh, no. Actually, like, I think it came across a little differently in the article, but we were stating our individual inspirations, like as vocalists.
As vocalists.
But Whitney is very, like, we didn't think of any of these people when this song was
absolutely.
Whitney was more like Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Is this the kind of sort of sound that you guys want to take forward, moving forward, or I mean, you guys want to keep it fresh all the time, or just have some sort of residue in terms of like. I mean, I feel like when you're starting something, like establishing a sound is important, but it doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule. I feel that it can sort of differ. We've spoken to other indie artists also. Like we were talking to this really interesting artist named Akansha Sethi. She's released an English song first. I think she's released a Hindi song first.
Hindi first and then English. And
she just released 2 songs yet. She's been digging for a very long time. And they sound like completely 2 different musicians have made the song. And we were also asking about that to her in particular, that how were you so liberated and how were you so, free from all the inhibitions when you sort of put this out? Because a lot of people are conscious about how they want their music to sound, right? You listen to Ripples, Ripples has made the song. You listen to a particular song. I mean, the soundscape and the production and everything is there. How do you guys want to take it forward for you, moving forward in terms of like a duo?
Individually, we're very different. Like even with me is very different from my music, like away from ZNU, and his music away from ZNU. For me, for myself, I don't particularly care too much if some songs sound different. Like my first song and my now second song are very, very different.
Right.
For with me, I think we're trying to keep elements similar.
Yeah, the elements. Like some of the elements will be similar. Because what I was thinking was, this was supposed to be like, let's just put it up on YouTube and then we'll forget about it kind of thing. She was the one who went like, let's just put it out since we're putting it out. And that was the best decision of our lives. I feel, I'm never going to be able to think that way. But we ended up happening. Now that this has ended up happening, now since we never got the time to actually think about, okay, fine, we're going to have a sound now. But it's kind of like already become innate that I think the future songs that we're going to have are also going to have this kind of element where things are conversational a little bit. Maybe make it our style.
Yeah, storytelling. I think that's become
our style.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that you want to keep it like more of conversational going forward as well. But again, what's interesting is the video complements the song perfectly. I mean, it captures the essence of what the lyrics are. And so how did that happen? I mean, how did you guys thought, what was the process behind that?
See, Zoe helps me out a lot in that way. Like in terms of, like I said, I get an image in my head immediately. Like if I'm talking about something, I'm a little like psycho that way. Like I'm in my head all the time a lot. When a concept comes in my head, I just start seeing things and I start talking to myself and things start coming to my head, and then it has to happen that way. And if it doesn't, then I go crazy. So I just saw this image of a guy when this song would start. It's gonna be a gray image, very unsaturated image of this guy almost in the dark, like looking dead stare outside the window. And no, actually it was not supposed to be here, but eventually it started, why not we just do it here, because it was supposed to be at a porch and the guy's looking dead into the horizon towards the sun, and the girl is looking at the camera face down, like her head down against the and deadpan at the camera, and both of their eyes are dead, like they don't have any emotion whatsoever, is what the image started constantly coming in. So that's like the whole concept of how one take would come, and then after that Zoe started adding into the choreography, and that's how it turned out.
Also, like this wasn't like a big budget thing. We didn't even think of this, and we do all of our stuff on our own, right? But then when we were like, okay, like it's released now, it's a music video now. So like obviously we had to, and our first ever music video, so obviously we had to figure out how to do this without like spending so much money. So we just turned my apartment upside down. Like it does not look like that.
That's how this apartment looks like. But yeah, for the video we just kind of like cleaned everything out.
DIY'd away.
DIY'd everything in.
It turned out like we wanted to make it look as professional as possible without having like a team,
And I feel like if you have the creativity to do anything and make something look a certain way, I think it's all visualizing and aesthetics. What aesthetics goes with what, and putting them together. Once you have that figured out, you don't need money. You don't need anything to figure that out. You can just use. You can take like $5 worth of light and then turn it into something that looks expensive. That's
put lights in our logo if you see. We also DIY'd our way through. So I mean,
that's the way to go.
Yeah, representing the indie spirit, guys. But no, I really appreciate that. That's really interesting. So How much time did it take for you guys to shoot the whole music video? I mean, do you guys wrap it up within a day or something?
The video was shot in like 5 hours. A day. Like 11 to like 5.
Not even 11, actually, like less than that. Because after that,
Wow.
Less than that a little bit. But the setup took us a while. So like the entire previous day, we were doing up the entire house. We were trying to get like fake plants to make it look better.
Right.
Choreography.
Then we had to like practice, run through it a little bit. But shoot didn't take too long. But overall it was like 3 days.
Right.
So it was.
So pre-production was good, so you guys sort of save time on that. That's also really important because that helps you sort of save the budget when there's everybody like all the rentals and all these things are at stake and all people have come. That's great. What do you guys want to do differently as a duo comparatively to what other people are doing as a duo within the scene? What do you guys want to change? What do you guys think? What are the barriers that you guys want to break without being like doing any virtue signaling or saying that we are different or anything of that sort? What do you guys think that can sort of these gaps that you guys are seeing within the scene that you guys want to fill?
I think like how you said, right? We're not just selling our product, that is our music. We're also selling our personalities. And having selling a personality also comes with the burden of actually changing the world in a certain way. Like how we said that we wanted to give out a certain idea and help people in need. Right? With a personality, you are, although music does it anyway, the sort of music that you come out with, say for example, the idea Pratik Kuhar came up with a music for a certain community, and the music is helping doing that. But if we are mixing our personalities with that and actually talking about a certain issue, our songs might not talk about it completely. What we will talk about, so our songs might just be for the sake of art for art's sake, but we will be for our personalities will be for bringing out change in the society in a certain way. So I think that way we're sort of different at least in the Indian scene for now.
Like we didn't come into this thinking that we were gonna be Zoe and Urgen, the indie artists. We thought we were gonna be Zoe and Urgen, the YouTubers.
People largely,
people as people, just like as beings. We want to follow them as beings. Like we don't want to follow them specifically for music or specifically because they're fun, but we just want to follow them together, doing whatever they are doing.
Music happens to our life.
The connection is way stronger in that case.
We want, at least like what I think we want is we want people to follow Zoe and Urgen more as an identity, and whatever Zoe and Urgen does, they'll follow that. Whether it's music or fun or intense conversations or whatever it is. I think the identity itself, the brand itself, rather than just the music or just the content.
That's a very holistic approach. I like that because I think that sort of like eases you off of just being a part of like being one particular thing. And I feel that you see all these multifaceted people in America and in England and I mean in the West largely. Like you see Jamie Foxx, who like is a musician, he's a comedian, he's an actor, he does all sorts of things. And he impersonates and he's you see all these people, Ricky Gervais and Steve Carell and all these people, they do so much stuff. It's so interesting to have people like that because you guys are basically, you guys are already successful, right, in your own right. And if you guys are successful further in this, which I'm sure you guys are definitely making solid strides towards, you guys are empowering other people to do a lot of things because
you're too kind, man. You're too kind.
We're not successful yet.
I mean, no, man. I mean, you guys are successful in your own way, man. I would say you guys are successful. I mean, you guys are doing what you guys love. You guys are doing it in the right way. So that's what success is for me. You guys are doing it on a constant basis. It's easy out. You guys are still, with what you guys are doing, I think it's comparatively difficult for you guys to establish what you guys are doing, your personal brands and this thing. Because you guys can continue doing the gigs. You guys can put out your music individually or just be a musical duo. But I think if you guys are finding contentment in this, it's amazing. It's amazing. Apart from that, what I also want to ask you guys is that you guys are making music together. I mean, we spoke about the YouTube collab aspect of it. You guys want to do features with like other people in your own duo or like something of that sort?
We haven't really thought of that. I don't know about in our original music because I think right now as it is, it's very like two people conversation.
And also it's pretty tough music. Our music is pretty tough to arrange. it's already very, very difficult to arrange two voices that's so like on top of each other with a conversation. It's already really, really difficult. And if you have like a third person voice doing that kind of stuff, and also making sure that they are okay with the stuff that they're given and stuff like that, it's really, really, I feel like it's difficult for that to happen. I think till we actually end up establishing ourselves as, hey, you know what, this is our vocal arrangement.
Technique.
So if you are okay with it, then you can collab with us. Like we can actually do a featuring. Otherwise, it's really tough, I think.
You guys should like stand. You guys should stand at the door. If we like you, then only you're allowed.
For now, I think our collaborations are for our channel and for like covers or music.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are doing all you guys are already doing so much stuff. I mean, you guys did a 21 people collab. I mean, that itself that suffices the need for not doing collabs all your life. So, I mean,
we're actually planning on making it a thing.
Yeah, we're planning on making.
Oh damn! Wow. You guys are always taking the more difficult route, but yeah, that's really cool.
Maybe next time we're going to be 50 or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh wow, that's great. That's great. So I mean, going back into the whole scene now, like, I mean, now I'm sure that the focus is also more towards the online presence of it because gigs, you don't know whether they're happening, how much time is it going to take, and what capacity they're going to have, going to be happening. Of course, we sort of got a glimpse of it when things were sort of edging back towards normalcy. How do you guys plan to sort of head back into the gig scene when it will happen? Or you guys want to ensure there's like a good mix to everything where your individual careers are also sort of doing its own thing. You guys are also doing your collab wholesomely. At the same time, you guys are also doing gigs together and all of that. How do you guys plan to approach it in the larger scheme of things?
Honestly, like, it's tough right now because of such a big break, right? It's like sometimes if you were on a streak with gigging, now it's like a huge break. You don't know how exactly to get back in it. I mean, we will only know once that time comes because like I've been trying to get us some gigs recently, but nothing really works out because of the situation. And we don't know how many people will come, or the budget is too less because of not knowing how many people
while before there used to be like a fixed budget. There used to be like, I'm gonna pay you this much and blah blah blah. But now it's more like if there's gonna be a cover charge, you're gonna be paid in accordance to the number of people that come in.
Which is very
it's very iffy because
you never know.
People not come for a gig right now.
But in terms of like individually, I don't know about you, but like I realized I'd rather gig with him because it's more fun.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking, like if hopefully soon I get a gig or he gets a gig, or I think I would try converting it into a ZNU thing because it's always fun with another singer because you can do harmonies, you can belt. It's just so much fun.
I think we like, although this ZNU started as a side thing, I think this is sort of become our main. It's becoming our main, and what we do individually, as in release our songs and stuff like that. That's going to be obviously for ourselves, but I think the source of income, I guess, the source of income, the source of like the actual job is going to be ZNU, while we do our own stuff on the side as a hobby, and then to grow our own stuff.
I mean, it's really weird because I have my entire life I've gone into this thinking Zoe Siddharth, the artist, this is what's gonna happen. And now it's like I've had like a 180 switch because I'm like, what if it's Zoe and Urgen, the artist? Zoe Siddharth as well, but also Zoe and Urgen.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's making sense for now.
Yeah, for now.
Although my way of creating art is totally different from ZNU, but I feel like the commercial factor of ZNU actually is working out for me as well. I'm getting to learn a lot from her. And
I learn
for sure. And like on sort of like an off day, you guys can sort of like put the onus on each other and just you guys can help each other out because you guys have such a
of course. Like I ask his help for everything. He hears all my scratches of all my singles before it comes out.
You should threaten to leak them if she's not listening to you in some collab. Like, hey, I'm going to put this right now. But you should, that's great. That's great actually. And I mean, I feel not. I mean, what I genuinely feel about like after talking to you guys is that not a lot of people have that approach now. It's just become too me in terms of like how can I grow? How can I make something out of this opportunity? But I think it's about giving. If you really want to make an impact, it's just about how you can make it more valuable for the people around you. How you can sort of. And I'm sure you guys. I mean, even after like having this collaborative association, I'm sure that you guys are looking at the whole scene as like a community of sorts, which is also really interesting because it's an easier route to take. I mean, you guys are not taking the easier route, and you guys are holding a ground and doing something which could sort of. I'm genuinely telling you, if you guys are going to continue doing this, I'm sure by the looks of it, you guys are going to. I think you guys are going to set up a good precedent for people who really want to do this but are not too confident, where they'll be able to sort of equate like the both of you as examples and see, so more power to you for that. And it's great to see that we have people who are sort of protecting the whole collaborative spirit and looking at it as a community. So thank you so much. It's been a genuine pleasure for both of us. I'm too sweet. Thank you, man. I'm going to put this as a promo. Like I'm just all the compliments I'm going to compile them. I'm just going to put them. But no, thank you so much for taking out this time, guys. And on a Sunday night, you guys have done this instead of I don't know. Anyways, you guys can't party, so I mean,
actually thinking we had some stuff.
We were thinking, okay, today we'll do release celebration.
We haven't celebrated our release because we've been working post-release.
Yeah, what will cheers to you guys, man? In a steel glass. I don't know.
Cheers.
Raising a toast.
Wait, can I ask you one question? It's Bharat, not Bharat. Your name.
My name is Bharat actually, so it's like a short story to it. What happened is my name was
interesting. Can you tell us how?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Bharat, not Bharat. I thought it was Bharat, man.
Oh yeah, even it was Bharat actually. Initially, I used to study in this convent called Saint Mary's in Pune. So when I was here, a lot of people were like sort of like from Catholic backgrounds and all. So my father actually wanted me to be called Bharat, but the spelling was Bharat. So he was like, how can I make my son call that? And then he sort of got a numerology angle into it. And then he said like, okay, now you're Bharat. So people have no option but to call you. But people still call me Bharat. I'm like, what the? I mean, I'm going to add an extra A to my name now. What is this going to be? So ever since, I think from the age of 7 or something, I'm Bharat. And yeah, it's good, man. I've got an edge to my name. So yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone's name. Like, it's very unique. Yet it's so technically it's supposed to be common because it's Bharat, like the name of the country. But
and the Bharat Petroleum and Bharatnatyam jokes, man. I mean,
never heard personally Bharat.
Or anybody. But yeah, man. I mean, that was like until like I was 10 or 11. The people like, I mean, let's leave him alone. It's okay. I mean, he's already heard these jokes a lot of times. So yeah, it's sort of been like that. But what does Urgen? What does Urgen mean? I want to know.
Urgen means God, I think.
God. Damn.
Yeah. I mean, I've gone through like. I've gone through like a whole series, like trying to figure out the origin of my name because I'm technically have Tibetan origins, but then in Tibet, the Tibetan origins also have Germanic origins, like because German people had come there and all that stuff. Because the word Jorgen, the Jorgen is actually a German name, right? Jurgen.
Yeah.
That also sort of means along the lines of like someone who leads or something, and then Urgen kind of probably became someone who is
right. It's like a derivative of that sort of thing.
Then I think for India it's Arjun, I guess. I don't know what.
Oh, is it?
Don't quote me on this. I'm just saying, and I think language is just the same anyway. Like everything is just convoluted in different places.
That's great, man. That's great. How are you finding it in Bombay? But how what do you like about Bombay in general?
The people. So I've lived in Bangalore for the longest time, and I've actually stayed there. And I feel, I mean, of course, Bangalore has amazing people as well. I mean, I love Bangalore. But like the people that you don't know, like on the streets, like a taxi driver or a panwala, I think people here are damn sweet, man. Every time I go to a taxi, they'll be like, "आप फिल्मों में काम करते हो? आप इतने handsome कैसे हो?" and all that stuff. Okay, fine, मस्का लगा. I want to talk to you. Yeah, tell me what.
Yeah, but yeah, it would be so weird if a taxi driver says, "हाँ, मैंने आपको stage season 3 में देखा. आप stage देखते हो? अरे क्या बात है?" But that's great, man. I feel so because we stay in Pune, right? So it's sort of like the crowd is almost similar in terms of like Pune is like the neglected cousin of Bombay. So, but look, we have like the KP and Kalyani Nagar, Koregaon Park and Kalyani Nagar is like our Bandra and Pali Hill sort of thing where we. So it's that sort of vibe. But yeah, I mean, I get it, man. I think Mumbai has such a mixed bag of like such diverse people. So I think it's sort of that happens in Goa also. When you go to Goa, it's like you find more North Indians in Goa than Punjab. So when you go to Goa, I was like, every third person I'm meeting, I'm like, why did I come here if I had to meet North Indians? Yeah, man. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, meeting all these people, you're like, I don't even need to travel for experiences now. I'm just like meeting. Yeah, I find that really interesting. So, but anyways, guys, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, man.
pleasure's all ours. Pleasure's all ours. And I hope the utmost success for you guys and keep continuing what you guys are doing. And let us know if you guys have some other song coming out. We'll be covering it. We'll do social media coverage. We'll come with the handy cam and be like, guys.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, I hope that people are able to gauge what you guys are doing. Whenever we put this out, I think we should put this out sooner because the song has come. We actually like have some 10 podcasts stacked up now. We just recorded a bunch actually. But I think your song has come, so we'll probably put this a little earlier. So I'm just hoping that people are sort of able to gauge what you guys are talking, because you guys have really been honest about it. So it's so good to have authentic people like you in the scene, and just continue what you guys are doing. Thank you so much.
And
All
you
the
guys
people
are
who
doing
want to follow. I'm sorry, man.
You guys are doing a great job yourselves. Because I mean, I watched the stuff. I mean, to be honest, I hadn't heard of you guys or hadn't seen it before you sent it to me. I actually did watch all of them, and I was like, wow, this is.
What are you saying?
Thank you for even watching those.
We actually get to know when somebody watched because the views are so low. So we're like, oh yeah, somebody definitely watched the videos. But no, I'm kidding.
Yeah. So
but actually, what happened is all the stuff that you guys have seen is like 5 or 7 months ago, and we've actually recorded a bunch of stuff. So we also sort of changed. So you guys, we actually doing research and shit. I mean, I'm not even kidding. We had like questions lined up for you guys. So
that's really good. That's what I was saying. That my brother was also telling me that I think you guys should start a podcast, because podcast is the next this thing growth. That podcast is going to grow a lot in India and stuff like that. And I think that you guys are really doing a good job. I think that's what kudos.
Thank you so much, man. That's so kind of.
I'm pretty sure it's going to do really well. Just keep uploading and be consistent. And
yeah, man. You guys are going to pump each other up now. Let's
do this. Let's do this.
We have YouTube fraternity now. We have our own YouTube fan fest now. We'll just
I'm down.
Let's create a YouTube community here.
Yeah, man. We'll make a WhatsApp group and we send good morning messages on it also.
Hi, I just uploaded my next video. Please go comment.
Yeah, please. Yeah, we will do that. We'll make fake accounts and we say, oh, nice video, changed my life, best video ever. So,
perfect.
Yes. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. This feels like two couples hanging out. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, in the most unconventional way. But thank you so much. We will put this out and we guys will see you around soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Follow Urgen and Zoe and Urgen in that order and the previous order as well. Go and follow them on their own accounts. And
also please follow the people who...
Oh, thank you so much. Mutual flattery happening.
Who come from our channel, please follow them as well. They're doing it.
उनकी तरफ से जो है लड़की वालों की तरफ से जो है वो यहाँ पे गिफ्ट दे सकते हैं यहाँ पे गिफ्ट दे सकते हैं so thank you so much guys we'll be around. We put out a podcast every Friday on our YouTube channel, I guess. I don't know, but we put it out.
Friday.
Oh, now we're competing with each other. What time do you guys put out the man, this is turning into a competitive thing now. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. You guys are so nice. I'm feeling so bad.
Why does it have to be competitive? One, they will watch one of our videos and then watch the next. Whoever comes out. Yes.
We're going to list your video in our video now. This is send us. It will be like before the algorithm suggests, we're going to suggest it. We're not even going to say subscribe. We're going to say go and subscribe Zoe and Urgen. We're just going to do that. Okay, guys. Please go and follow Zoe and Urgen. Very nice. So, anyways, thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, absolutely. Same here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chalo.
Bye.
Bye. Good night. Enjoy now. Have the party. Okay.
Yes.
Bye.